Simpsons episodes seems to predict certain events better than any other series out there. Some of their predictions are the following. The City of New York versus Homer Simpson is the first episode of the 9th season. One of the most obvious and painful examples of their predictions comes in the 1997 episode, in which the Simpsons travel to New York City to retrieve the family car from being illegally parked at the World Trade Center. While in the Big Apple, Lisa holds up a magazine with a cover that reads New York, $9. The placement of the 9 directly next to the silhouette of the Twin Towers in the New York skyline is eerie, as it effectively uses the two tall buildings as an 11, as in 9/11. Beck R. Holmstrom wins Nobel Prize in Economics, Season 22, Episode 1, Elementary School Musical. In a 2010 episode, so Finnish economist Bengt Holmstrom would win the Nobel Prize in Economics, which he really did 6 years later, in a joint win with Oliver Hart. An Average Joe Goes into Space, Season 5, Episode 15, Deep Space Homer. In this episode, a man is seen floating in a zero-gravity spaceship bearing a close resemblance to media tycoon Branson, with some fans to suggest that the series had in fact predicted this back in the 2014 episode, The World of Art. However, this is not so much a prediction as simply basic foresight. It was already announced at the time of the episode's conception that Branson aimed to launch Virgin Galactic in the future. Siegfried and Roy Tiger Attack, Season 5, Episode 10, Springfield. What happened on The Simpsons in the 1993 episode Springfield, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love Legalized Gambling? The Springfield equivalent of magicians Siegfried and Roy are attacked by a white Bengal tiger during one of their shows. What happened in real life? In 2003, Roy Horn was attacked by a white Bengal tiger during a Siegfried and Roy show, leaving him partially paralyzed and ending the long-running act. Stealing cooking grease for cash. Season 10, Episode 1, Lord of the Dance. What happens on The Simpsons? In the 1998 episode, Lord of the Dance, Homer recruits Bart to help him make money by stealing grease. They try to steal grease from Krusty Burger as well as from Bart's school. What happened in real life? The rising price of oil created a black market for grease, and as noted in a 2008 New York Times article, restaurant grease thefts have spiked. The article opened with a story of a man who stole 300 gallons of grease from a Burger King. Video chats. Season 6, Episode 19, Lisa's Wedding. What happened on The Simpsons in the 1995 episode Lisa's Wedding? A visit to a fortune teller transports Lisa to 2010 when she's talking to Marge via her phone's video chat feature called Picture Phone. What happened in real life? Yes, other Hollywood depictions of the future had predicted similar technology over the years, but guess what year Apple's overlord, Steve Jobs, announced the breakthrough video telephony product known as FaceTime? 2010. The Higgs boson particle, Season 10, Episode 2, The Wizard of Evergreen Terrace. In the 1998 episode, The Wizard of Evergreen Terrace, Homer becomes inspired by Thomas Edison to pursue a career as an inventor. The 1998 episode, The Wizard of Evergreen Terrace, shows aspiring inventor Homer standing next to a chalkboard that boasted a massive equation. What happened in real life? The equation on the chalkboard was impressively close to predicting the mass of the Higgs boson, aka the God's particle, when it was discovered in 2012. It's kind of amazing as Homer makes this prediction 14 years before it was discovered. COVID-19, episode 21 of season 4, March in Change. In 1993 season 4 episode March in Change, Springfield's citizens infected by germ-infested Jews. Looseners package from Osaka, Japan, resulting in an outbreak of the Osaka flu. A mob outside the hospital topples a truck they believe to contain a placebo antidote, only to unleash crates of killer bees. The Murder Hornets, Season 11, Episode 17, Back to the Future. Even series writer Bill Oakley admitted that The Simpsons had predicted 2020 when a clip from the Season 4 episode, Margin Change, went viral last year. In 2020, the world faced the global pandemic of COVID-19, an infectious disease caused by SARS-CoV-2, which originated in Wuhan, China. And in the US, there were multiple sightings of the extremely deadly Asian giant hornets. However, episode writer Bill Oakley clarified to The Hollywood Reporter that the Osaka flu was inspired by the 1968 Hong Kong flu. Faulty voter machines, Season 20, Episode 4, Treehouse on Horror. What happened on The Simpsons? In the 2008 episode Treehouse of Horror, which aired prior to the year's presidential election, Homer attempts to vote for Barack Obama on an electronic voting machine, but the machine registers his votes for John McCain. 6 times, actually. What happened in real life? In 2012, news outlets, including MSNBC, reported that an electronic voting machine was revealed to be swapping votes from Obama to the Republican nominee Mitt Romney. Underwater submersible emergency situation. Season 17, Episode 10, Homer's paternity cult. What happened on The Simpsons? In the 2006 episode Homer's paternity cult, Homer discovers his biological father, Mason Fairbanks, who introduces him to the legend of a lost emerald treasure in the ship wreckage of Piso Mojado. As they search for the jewels via submarines, Homer becomes separated from Mason, getting stuck in a barrier reef and losing oxygen in the underwater vehicle. On June 18, 2023, 5 tourists hop aboard OceanGate's Titan submarine to explore the Titanic wreckage in the Atlantic Ocean. With the craft's communication failing within the first 2 hours, the submersible imploded upon descent, resulting in their deaths. Interestingly enough, one of the Simpsons writers made the dive with OceanGate 3 times, saying every time communication was an issue. The Simpsons actually predicted Donald Trump's presidency back in the 11th season episode Back to the Future, which aired back in 2000. Lisa has become President of the United States. In a cabinet meeting, she offhandedly mentions we inherited quite the budget crunch from President Trump. It initially was a reference to Trump attempting a run as a Reform Party candidate, but the words gained much more validity when Trump was elected president in 2016. The line gained more attention when Trump announced he was running for president yet again in a bid for 2024, which incidentally is the year that The Simpsons had originally predicted. But one scene from the show looked as if it was almost replicated in real life. In the same episode, a crowd of people watched as Donald Trump descended an escalator. It's a scene that's now among The Simpsons predictions that came true. Lady Gaga's Super Bowl performance, Season 23, Episode 22, Lisa Goes Gaga. What happened on The Simpsons? In the 2012 episode Lisa Goes Gaga, Lady Gaga flies over the audience whilst attached to cables. What happened in real life? At the 2017 Super Bowl, a cabled Gaga made her halftime show entrance by descending from the stadium's roof, minus the sparkler shooting brassiere. At the time, her set was the most watched musical performance in Super Bowl history. Disney-Fox merger. Disney buys 20th Century Fox Season 10 Episode 5 When You Dish Upon a Star. The $71.3 billion acquisition of Fox by Disney took most of the world by surprise in 2019, but not some attentive Simpsons fans. The series had in fact predicted the Fox-Disney merger in a joke back in 1998. What happened in real life? In 2017, Disney reached terms to purchase 21st Century Fox, which includes 20th Century Fox film and television studios, for $52 billion. The acquisition was completed in 2019. Lisa vs. Malibu Stacy Season 5 Episode 14. Despite being released in 1994, Lisa vs. Malibu Stacy proved to be an episode that held a lot of relevance for viewers in 2023. Not only did it preface the fanfare surrounding Barbie, but it also subtly hinted at Donald Trump's arrest. On the 24th of August, the former president of the United States surrendered himself to authorities after being indicted on charges relating to racketeering. On the 24th of August, the former president of the United States surrendered himself to authorities after being indicted on charges relating to racketeering. Quite hilariously, Lisa vs. Malibu Stacy sees newsreader Kent Brockman speak at great length about the popularity of the playthings before offhandedly closing the broadcast with a brief mention that the president was arrested. While vague, it could be viewed that the episode not only predicted the craze of Barbie, but even foreshadowed the social response that starkly constructed between the political bombshell and the Barbie fanfare. Smartwatches, Season 6, Episode 19, Lisa's Wedding. Though the first commercial smartwatch would not be released until 2014, the idea was in fact depicted in 1995 episode of The Simpsons entitled Lisa's Wedding. In the classic Season 6 episode of The Simpsons, Lisa's Wedding, there were more than a few jokes about future tech. The episode showed a brief moment where Hugh talks to his watch, predicting the rise of smartwatches almost 2 decades before the first one will be introduced to the world. It's a fleeting moment that didn't mean much back then, but highlighted key tech like digital watches and voice recognition that would become commonplace nowadays. Capitol riots. The episode 4 of season 32, 1996 episode, The Day the Violence Died. The Simpsons have credited the series with predicting the atrocity as far back as 1996. The episode sees Bart and an elderly man claiming to be the true creator of Itchy and Scratchy. Within the episode, there is a brief scene in which the Capitol building is stormed by an angry mob of cartoon characters, as it did happen in reality on January 6, 2021, by heavily armed supporters of outgoing President Donald Trump.